Hi, I'm Mark Honeybone from Property Ventures, and welcome to our weekly podcast where we interview prominent members of the investment community along with other professionals in the New Zealand property market. This is a free service from Property Ventures so that you can keep current and learn from some of the best around New Zealand. To check us out, take a look at propertyventures.co.nz. We hope you enjoy today's podcast. Welcome back to part 3 of our most recent podcast series on energy efficient homes, and today Ravenswood Development just out of Christchurch. Today we're speaking to Jenny Lake, who's in charge of selling the Ravenswood subdivision. So I won't do a big introduction like we normally do. I will just get on and talk about it, because that's what we're here to do today. I will say though, before we start, is the reason I think it's damn exciting, not only the location and all the commercial that has been sold already that we'll hear about shortly, but a stage 1 of a 8-stage development happening in the next few years. And as you all know, who have had anything to do with property ventures and new developments or apartments, get in early stage 1, and that's where you make your money. And this one in particular, I think stage 1 is going to be a pretty special stage to be in. So if you're an investor, get in now. If you're a homeowner, get in now, or whenever you want in the next couple of years. Sit back and relax, and I hope you enjoy the next 20 minutes or so. So welcome to the show, Jenny.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's fantastic to be here, and thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, good. I'm actually sitting on the site of where the stage 1 entryway will be in Ravenswood. So to start off with, you just want to tell us a bit about how Ravenswood sort of got going and, in fact, where it is.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So Ravenswood is in North Canterbury, and it's about 30 k's out of Christchurch. It's a 25 to 30 minute drive to the airport and into the CBD. North Canterbury has a population of 60,000, and surrounding us is towns of Woodend, Rangiora and Kaiapoi. And we launched Ravenswood in August of this year. So we launched the commercial first, and we've got McDonald's, BP and the New World Supermarket. We've also sold 24 of the light industrial sections. There's only 36 available. We're working on our commercial precinct, and also we've sold the 2 preschools, motel site, and we've got contracts for about 75 residential sections.
Well, it's not a bad start, is it? Another subdivision the size.
Exactly, absolutely. It's pretty exciting. We've got in total 150 hectares, and we've got 15 hectares of commercial. So it's sort of the last commercial land in North Canterbury, and that's what's really exciting, because the population is going to grow to 80,000 here in North Canterbury. So therefore, we've got the wineries up the road, we've got Hamner Springs, we've got Pegasus Golf Club across the road that has obviously the golf club, the lake, the beach. So there's a lot of recreational facilities, and you're really close into Christchurch. So it's a lovely rural outlook.
No, absolutely. In fact, it's right amongst a whole lot of those sort of towns, as you said. Pegasus across the road, it's been the latest, I suppose, big thing until Ravenswood's come along. That hasn't got as much commercial, is that right? Is that what's lacking, or?
Yeah, look, they have got a little bit of commercial. They've got a couple of restaurants that's going in there later on this year. They've got the school, which is fantastic, and They've got 1 preschool plus another one, and a general store. But what's exciting for us is we're on the main highway heading north, and so therefore there's 12,000 vehicles going past per day. So therefore our commercial will be an advantage for Pegasus as well. And New Zealand Transit have purchased some of the land from us, and in a few years' time there'll be the main bypass will actually go through the commercial of Ravenswood, and that's why there's been so much interest, and people are just wanting to secure something.
Right, okay. So both this and Pegasus are both going to help each other out, I guess, in many ways.
Exactly.
Okay, now I was talking to a gentleman yesterday about this, buying a section here, and the biggest concern he was is there the need for property out this way, and you've almost just covered that with the motorway going through where it is, and you wouldn't have had so many commercials sold already if that wasn't going to be the case. The demand's going to be there.
Exactly, and as I said, it's the last commercial land in North Canterbury, and particularly with the light industrial sites, it's a chance to invest in your future and own your own commercial property instead of leasing. So they're just flying out the door. They're priced from 200,000 plus GST, if any. And any contracts I get in the next 3 weeks, I may have a promotional offer and give a slight discount on that.
Geez, there you go. Discounts already in the first 5 minutes. But,
exactly.
So, and just to remind people, I think this has been published about the 20th of October, roughly. So within 3 weeks of that, if you're into the light industrial side, so that sounds good. So when's the project sort of when's the dirt going to start to be moved out the window here?
Yeah, we're really excited. We anticipate that construction will start on commercial early next year. So probably mid to end of January, and then residential will be about 6 weeks later. So we're anticipating 9 to 12 months for title, so therefore both commercial and residential will have their title end of next year. So people will be able to start building their homes, and obviously the commercial precinct and BP McDonald's and New World will be able to start building as well.
Great. So they'll start to be built just January 2018.
Correct. Yeah. So the first residents will be in their homes, depending on their builder, maybe March, April 2018.
Yep, exactly. Well, that sort of gives obviously they must be pretty confident to be building your commercial almost before the residential starting, so they know something's coming up that's going to be good, I guess.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. We don't need the residential to get the commercial started because we have the infrastructure. We have probably 700, maybe 800 homes, families living across the road in Pegasus, and then you've got Woodend, so you've got that population around to sustain the commercial. Yeah.
Right. Okay, perfect. Okay, so obviously we're starting out in stage one. I expect you're going to be like what I call good traditional developers who you get benefited by getting in early on. Is that going to be the case with this? Because I think there's 7 or 8 stages, is it?
That's right? Correct, absolutely. And
residential.
So, yes, absolutely. And with residential, we have got really reasonable prices. So they start from $119,000 for sections of 410 square metres, and then they go right through 129,000, 139. So you can get a really good section, 500, 600 square metres for 130, 140. And we're working with some great building companies, so you can get into your first home for just under that $400,000 mark, or a lovely size that's for about 100, 110 square metres, and then going on to 450,000 upwards, just depending on people's budgets.
And what sort of size sections do they go up to?
750 square metres, and they're beautiful sites, those ones. We've got the Taranaki stream that goes right through the development, and that will have a lovely grassed area, so therefore you can take the dog out for a walk or go biking along that area, so it'll be beautiful. We'll have a lovely stream running through.
Nice. I was going to ask, so what was sort of the main theme or what you've tried to put in the development to make it good for the people living here? And is it you just talk about stage one at the moment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
what about the rest of the subdivision moving forward after that?
The rest of the subdivision moving forward, obviously we've got 197 sections in stage one, and so we'll release stage two probably early next year when we've sold most of them out. And as I was saying, the prices will increase. Certainly once we're halfway sold through stage one, they may go up 5 or 10%. So now is a great opportunity to get in. For a 10% deposit, you don't pay the balance until title comes through next year.
Yep.
And then we're looking at maybe making some larger sections through there as well. I'm also working on a retirement village and some high density apartments. So therefore the prices will just continue, and really great green spaces right throughout. That's a big thing here. Because it's existing farmland, a lot of lovely trees and everything, which we're trying to maintain the trees and the landscape as much as possible.
Right, and it's going to certainly have that country feel, even when there are several hundred or 1,000 houses around here.
Exactly.
With the drive-in, it's beautiful on the left side as you drive in, and will continue to be farmland, and as I said, a lot of established trees and what have you around here. So that's great. Just looking through at the map of Ravenswood, it actually does back right on to Woodend, so it's not as if it's a subdivision just in the country, randomly in the country somewhere, is it? Like some listeners may think.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm saying is we've got the population there, we've got Pegasus across the road, Woodend, and it's probably only 3 or 4 minutes drive into Rangiora, which is a great town in there. with the cafes, department stores, really neat shopping as well. And also they've got a huge business area in Rangiora, and then heading down to Kaiapoi as well. So there's satellite towns, and it almost merges into one out here in North Canterbury, and that's what's really exciting about it, because you've got all the facilities and you're not right in town.
Right. Now, speaking of that, all these other satellite towns you've said, the biggest problem since the earthquake, since it's got more developed out here, has been people going to work, I believe. I don't think you've got a problem at all down here coming from Auckland, but you all complain about it down here. Tell us about the motorway that's going to fix some of that.
Exactly. We're really lucky they're designing a new motorway out by the airport along Johns Road, which is probably going to take 40% of the traffic off. But it's really interesting when people talk about the traffic here. I was travelling into the airport the other morning at 8 o'clock, and it took me 25 minutes to get to the airport. So definitely the traffic has alleviated a lot this year, and also there's going to be another bypass along Cranford Street coming right out of the city. So it's going to be a very functional city going out to, south and north within sort of 18 months. So, and also, you've raised a good point, because within the commercial area, there'll be at least 800 jobs in there, so people can live and work in North Canterbury, so therefore it takes a lot of vehicles off the road as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar to the problem going on right in the middle of the city, I guess, which is, are there enough properties? Are there too many properties for the jobs? And the same thing, there's more, in the middle of town, there's different commercial getting done. Of course, they need workers, they need accommodation. So it's the same out here. And as I said, you've got a lot of commercial. Do you want to talk about the commercial and what sort of places you have got out here?
Yeah, so as I say, aside from New World, BP and McDonald's, in the commercial precinct, that's really exciting. We're just in the process of leasing at the moment, so therefore it's, bakery, a cafe, restaurant. There's a real estate agent going in, hairdressing, salon, medical, pharmacy, retail as well, and that's the area where the second preschool goes in. What's exciting about this is, because there's been so much interest, we actually have another area, a second commercial area, that we will release probably in about 2 years' time as well. So therefore there can be a lot more in there. And within the light industrial area, it's a great opportunity where people can put an office in, a warehouse, they can have an apartment up above. So there's auto electricians, there's mechanical, sign writing companies, salad bars. And so there's also another area earmarked for automotive, for a car sales yard, if anyone wants to put in a car sales yard, or even maybe a boat or a caravan yard as well. We're just working on that at the moment. There's also big box retail. We're in contract at the moment, and then the motel side as well.
Oh, all happening.
Exactly. Not bad since launching in August.
Yeah, that's a great effort. So if that's happening in this time, it's going to be, it could develop in a couple of years' time, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Sounds like a perfect place to live. And the other thing is, and it's no different than in Auckland too, is people when they have their subdivisions. Subdivisions are and shops, and they're so much better than they were 20 years ago in the shopping areas, and people don't go to the city anymore unless they need to, unless that's where they live. And this is certainly going to be one of those cases, I guess, is everything's here. Why would you need to go to the city, I guess, for a lot of people unless they work there? So what are they, just on the other commercial, we said about 2 years away, is that in the same sort of area than the first commercial area?
Yes, it is, absolutely. So it's very close to where the bypass comes in the main road, and that's what's exciting about that. And as you mentioned, with all the facilities out here, the beautiful wineries, Hanmer Springs, and the beach is 3 or 4 minutes drive away from here, which is perfect. And then you've got the lake at Pegasus for water activities, kayaking, paddleboarding, that type of thing. So it's very recreational out here with lovely walking tracks and everything as well.
Yeah, no, there's plenty on, and the vineyards are a big treat now, and just up towards where I used to live when I was a young fella.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So moving forward, if someone is interested, they said to pay a deposit, so you're only looking at 15,000 depending on what sort of section they get right now.
Yeah.
And then they don't have to pay the balance until settlement later in the year, and early next year.
That's right. Yeah.
that's obviously one way you can do it. The other way is we can buy a house and land package through us through one of the spec home companies, or as you've heard in the last couple podcasts, which I think such a great thing for the reason we've mentioned the last two podcasts about the energy efficient homes and just what they provide, and more so, I don't care whether you're an investor or just a home buyer. When you go to sell one day, the place should be worth a fair percentage higher than the normal spec home next door. But everyone wants something different, and that's the opportunity we provide. If people want to know a bit more about Ravenswood, and I mean, ideally they'll come to me first and I'll tell them all about it. But if they don't, they want to sort of go directly to you to ask about it, how do they get hold of you? And your office is here on site, isn't it?
Exactly. I'm sitting in a 10x3 Portacom on wheels, and this is my home with my colleague Lisa as well. So until we get the show home village in as well, there will be about 17 different building companies that will be having their homes here as well. So they can just give me a call at the Ravenswood office, check the website. The number's 03 375 0010. It is a 10% deposit once you've confirmed your contract, and then that money goes into our solicitor's trust account as well. So therefore you can either talk to Mark or come directly to us, and we'll let Mark know that we've been helping you with that. And there is a lot of first home buyers, people wanting to downsize, and that's why there's been so much interest, because the prices will be increasing once we've sort of sold out at least 50% of stage one.
Right. And just one question everyone asks me, and so I'll clarify it right now with you, is that the money they put in their in that trust account, do they get the interest from it in that year? If you know that, or you might not know.
I do know, actually.
You do
it
know.
would only be if we never brought the subdivision through to title.
Okay.
So therefore, if they put the money in the trust account, if we did not bring the subdivision to title, then we would repay them plus the interest that they've earned.
Yeah.
So good question, actually.
Yeah, that's a question that comes up, and that's fairly common for this sort of size development, that's for sure. And really, you're only talking, a small percentage of the interest rates at the moment on $10,000, $15,000 isn't a great deal.
Absolutely.
But it's a great potential what you're actually gaining from putting that 10 or 15,000 in a year's time, when stage 2 and 3 might be on the market at much higher prices. So you would have done well.
Exactly, and it is the first stages that always get in, and it's the same with these light industrial. Never will you get commercial land at that price again, particularly because it's right beside the main anchor tenants. So that's what's really exciting, and it's giving people the opportunity. And once again, it's a 10% as well.
Great. Okay. Awesome. So anything you want to just sort of have your last big sales push for why come here? I mean, we've covered most of it, but
I just think it's a beautiful spot. It's you've got lovely views over Mount Grey. It will be a great community out here as well, and that's the thing about living sort of a little bit rural, but you're still attached to Christchurch as well. There's just great opportunities, and you're not travelling far to any of the recreational facilities or for work as well, particularly when you look at your Auckland, having been there last week. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of advantages over Auckland, that's for sure, and it will have a really good feel, and it's a bit like, I suppose, you got Rolleston south of the city, about the same distance, I guess, and that's been out there, and that sort of has a nice feel too. The advantage this has got is all those satellite towns so close here. Got a fantastic golf course across the way, all the commercial, and the beach, so it's pretty desirable.
Oh, it's very desirable, particularly with the commercial being on that main road heading north, and so therefore people going up to the lakes, up to Nelson, up to Hamner, they can call in, fuel up, go to the bottle store. We're having storage containers out here on site as well. People, if they're living in town and they're on a smaller section, or even living out here, they can have the boat parked in a beautiful lock-up area, get everything out, and then they're heading north.
Nice, good work. Okay, well, I'm sure the phones will be ringing before this is finished, surely.
Exactly, absolutely. So, look, thank you for the opportunity, Mark, and we look forward to helping people into house and land packages or purchasing sections.
Pleasure and great having you on board, Jenny, and take it easy and all the best.
Yeah, thank you. Talk soon.
It was great having Jenny on the show, and since we've done this recording, we did our presentation in Christchurch a couple of nights ago. and that gave me even more confidence in the subdivision, just again where it is, and especially the commercial and light industrial that has already been sold. In 3 months, they've sold about 60% of what's available, and the satellite towns around it really complement this subdivision. So if you're interested in it, give me a call. Stage 1 and 2 is where the money can be made, is if you're an investor listening to this. If you're a home buyer, there's some great places to left in the first stage and beyond that. So if you want a residential or even a commercial or light industrial lot, give us a call or email here at Property Ventures, and we will help you. And remember, we hope you enjoyed today's podcast, but make sure to join us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/propertyventuresnz. And we'd really appreciate it if you could jump on iTunes or Stitcher and give us a rating and review. And then other people can listen to this and find out about us like you have. So until next time, have a tremendous week.